Definitely.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. We have one less Michael, but we're going to be just as chaotic without him, I do believe. Possibly more chaotic because we need to ramp up the chaos without him and turn off all the filters. So, in fact, let's have more fun now that Michael's not here.
I mean, can Q have created an inflatable Michael whilst he was
Yes,
having the inflatable swords made?
100% yes. In fact, 200% yes. You can have two inflatable Michaels, just in case the first one gets broken.
Two and a half.
Yes, two and a half. Before we start the chaos, let's do some introductions. We don't have Michael, so we're going to start with the individual in the middle box. He knows who he is.
I do. I used to be second. Now I'm the first. Hi, what's up? I'm Panic. I play Cal, the Purple Ranger, uh, and I have been playing too much Monster Hunter to be in a peaceful scenario. I'm too violent right now.
Uh, yes. Hello, I am the Michael today. I'm Sarah, the Pink Ranger, and I didn't know Shorzy Season 4 had dropped until the internet told me yesterday, and I need to finish it tonight. That's what I got.
Shush.
Give your balls a tug.
Not on camera. Hi, I'm Jay, and I play Q, the Gold Ranger, and I have nothing witty to add at this point in time.
Insight check?
I mean, you can roll.
I don't know where my dice are. I don't need dice. Um,
You'll
I'm the
fail it.
GM. I don't need dice.
yeah, I'm the
Where
GM. I
we're
don't need
going, we don't
dice.
need dice.
Where we're going, we don't need dice or roads or anything else. Um, we weren't here last week, but on the last episode of Power Rangers Let There Be Thunder, I mean, it was kind of chill. We got to explore parts of the planet Triforia. We got to see some shenanigans in terms of dress building and outfit building, ready for the ball to introduce Peter to the world of the nobility and kind of say, "Hi, look, I'm not your prince because I don't want to be your prince, but maybe I do want to be your prince. Who knows? I can't make up my mind." Uh, sup?
All the prince, none of the responsibilities.
Yep, that does sound like Peter, really, actually, when you think about it, doesn't it? Uh, Cal did a little bit of investigating just to try and see what's up because Triforia seemed a little bit too good to be true. I think we,
Genuinely unsettling.
yeah, I think we established that Triforia really was just too good to be true. Um, it's just good.
You wake up in the morning and step outside.
Oh, I wish I could remember how the rest of that song goes.
Take a deep breath, get real high, scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on?
Yep. Uh, lots of lovely outfits at the ball. Lots of interesting entrances at said ball, and the
Plenty of
Rangers are now
holiday.
heading to the planet Safehaven on their way to Earth, just to head home, recharge their batteries, investigate as to why Trey of Triforia has been hiding on Earth as Pete's dad. I suppose he's not really been hiding as Pete's dad, he is Pete's dad, but why he's been hiding on Earth for the past, like,
Why
25
on
years.
earth has he been hiding?
Yeah. And why he's been stuck split for such a long period of time.
Real
All of
question.
the preparations have already been completed, so as soon as you're all awake the next day, maybe slightly worse for wear from the events of the night before, where food
Oh,
and
hangover.
yeah, roll for hangover. In fact, you know what? Go
Yeah,
ahead and
what's the drinking age on Triforia?
what's the drinking age on Triforia? We're going to go with 18, just like the drinking age in the UK,
Hell yeah.
because we can. Roll
That's
me
more civilized.
a.
But is that 18 divided by 3?
No, it's 18 still. but each version of you gets to drink, and one of you gets the hangover when they all merge back together.
So we're rolling to see which one of the three of us gets the hangover.
But you all get the hangover. But go ahead and roll me a brawn check to see how hungover you are.
Part of me needs to wonder if I have anything for brawn checks. I don't think I do, but
You do from your origin at the very least.
do I?
Yeah, you
Yes.
get
Because
that D2 from just being
Yep.
Oh,
athlete.
that, yeah. Check that. I'll just use that.
I think I don't have a hangover.
Dang, Sarah rolled a 20 on a 1d20 and 1d2. That's pretty impressive.
18.
An 18 for Q. For Cal?
I didn't drink nothing.
Cal didn't drink? That sounds like Cal,
No.
to be fair. He's the responsible adult.
Yep.
Alarming.
Who wants to roll for Peter? Just to see whether or not Peter gets a
Doesn't he
hangover.
have
Guys,
snag?
I've got this. Guys, I've got this. 5.
Peter has a D2 in brawn, so you can also roll a D2 if you want.
All right, maximum 7. Let's go, boys. Maximum 7. That's a 6.
I love that you rolled the 5 because I can't be blamed that way. So
Yeah, this
That
isn't
out-
bullying. I just rolled bad.
yeah, out of the
That
4 of you, Peter is the only one that is really struggling as the
That's
sun
cool.
comes up.
He's unconscious.
Yeah,
He does not wake up.
it's too late. Peter's not here to defend himself, and Peter therefore did drink.
He's gonna have like a month-long hangover now.
In fact, that's why Peter isn't here to defend himself. Is Peter is locked in his room, half unconscious, half throwing back electrolyte waters and
He's
buried
not
in the
not by
bathroom.
telephone.
Yeah. Pete's complaining via the chat at the moment. It's too late. We've spoken. The dice have said their story.
It's
Praise be to Aaron.
by this point, I don't know if anyone has like anytime Matt asks for like, would anyone like to give me a roll? I go, I'll do it, and then I roll terribly.
I feel like
You guys
it's a
need to-
defensive roll just to get the bad rolls out as well.
You need to stop letting me roll things for the group. Someone needs, maybe not Matt, because Matt finds it funny, but like, anytime Matt is like, would anyone like to roll for the group, y'all gotta get in my way.
No, it's
Y'all
hilarious. So with Pete out of action, the rest of you head up to through to the command center of the ship. Thankfully, Baby Dragon is there. Baby Dragon has already input the coordinates for Safehaven, having already, was only there like a month ago. It's not
Yeah.
moved that far.
It's easy.
And with Tor's help, you're able to travel to Safehaven without any issues, which is always useful, because having to repair the ship every time you travel is really getting a little bit,
Mhm.
Why even bring a spaceship if you have to keep spending the time outside of the spaceship fixing it?
I mean, that's
Because
okay.
it's classic.
Yeah, what am I gonna do? Not have a spaceship?
It's fair.
Fuck off.
My magic disappearing mug, look.
Incredible.
When you reach Safehaven, you do notice that there's a little bit more of a build-up of ships in orbit. You see a few more SPD ships, a few more freighters that seem to be bringing in supplies. You also notice a couple of naval ships from Triforia. You can tell these ones apart, especially because of the amount of gold just built into the designs of the hull. Whether or not it's actually gold or just design elements, who knows? They do seem to be throwing around money as if it's worthless. Yes, naval ships with an E, not an A. Very weird design choices, but who knows?
Innies or outies.
Yeah. They're innies and then the cannons come out.
Giggity.
You head down to the planet's surface, down towards where the Rangers are housed in their little command structure. And when you land, you're greeted by Z, the robot from the Omega Rangers team, who takes one look at the ship, takes one look at the rest of you, and I see that you have successfully thwarted the Psycho Rangers' attempts upon Triforia. Were you successful in capturing them all?
I present to him the capture cards, and then the one corpse of that Sarah just murdered, I guess.
Thunk. Yeah.
I see Psycho Blue, and yes, we still have some threats still out there for the rest of the galaxy to be aware of. I will
5
send
out of
out
6.
a message.
Well,
Ten-
we didn't
5
want
out
to
of 7.
Is
5 out of 7 if you count Ecliptor.
we didn't want to put
Big
people
5 out
to
of
shame,
7.
you know. We want people to have something to do.
I have the get back is going to be legendary. Q, don't you worry.
understandable. I will send out an alert just to ensure that everybody is aware that Psycho Blue and Ecliptor are still in the wind, as they
It
say.
doesn't need to be a one-on-one, but I would like to get notified if anyone sees them, just so that I can go and join the fight. I'm not requesting ones, but I am requesting to be allowed in on the jumping.
Of course, I will ensure that any messages are routed through to your ship.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Z.
Was there anything else?
I mean, they would already know that Triforia is accepting their refugees back from Safehaven, right? Like that's not.
They've already started
we don't
heading
got
back to the planet.
We don't got to tell them about that. They know.
Yeah.
And Triforia has been sending supplies in, which has been very helpful.
I could do with a word with you in private, Z.
Of course. I believe the word of the day is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
What?
See, that was a word in public.
Ah. Apologies. The gardens, perhaps?
Yes.
And Z will lead Q through to the gardens, leaving the two of you sort of to wander as you wish.
Q will say to Cal and Sarah, I'll catch you later.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
Let us know if there's a problem.
Always.
Wait. They're always
Just-
possible.
Just take
Look, Q just leaves Sarah
whatever,
without.
whatever. Like 2 options you're thinking of. The answer is yes.
The answer is both. Yeah.
Fair. Right.
On the back of Q's helmet, you just see the both memes start playing.
Right.
As Q and Z are walking through the gardens, Z, are you capable of lying?
Yes. But then, if I were capable of lying, I could also say no, and you would never know.
Unless I caught you in a mistruth. Have you ever heard the Earth phrase, the truth will out?
I have.
Awesome. This might seem like a strange question. How aware are you and Zordon of all the comings and goings of the different rangers, not necessarily just from maybe our time stream, but from others?
He pauses mid-step at this, and then where his leg would have gone forward, it just sort of steps backwards, and he stops walking completely. And he just stares at you for a moment before saying, "The fact that you are asking questions about rangers out of other time streams poses a very complicated question and answer scenario. If I were to answer truthfully, I will be providing you with more information and I am allowed to do so, without you already knowing the information that I am allowed to give you."
So you are aware of the comings and goings of other rangers from other time streams because you have information that you've just told me you're not allowed to tell me.
Hypothetically, of course.
In the various callings and fallings of rangers from within our known time stream, then, have there been any others that have looked remarkably similar to myself?
Technically, no.
And untechnically?
There will be.
Meaning?
There has yet to be a ranger that looks remarkably like yourself.
I don't understand.
That's the funny thing about time streams.
No, I was talking about our time stream.
Events unfold non-linearly. Things that have occurred in the future have yet to unfold.
Let me put it a different way. Are there any other rangers who you know of who look like me who are not me?
Yes.
Who are they?
He sort of, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't move at all. He's that motionless that only a robot could pull off. There's no wavering, there's no stepping from leg to leg, there's no balance disruption. And then after a minute or so, you hear footsteps coming your way. And then you see the sort of blue shimmering light that appears from Zordon's helmet as he steps into view. I believe you may have broken our friend here. There are certain things that he isn't allowed to talk about.
And are you allowed to talk about them, Zordon?
I have more liberty to discuss them, less programming built in to provide free will as they...
Okay, so first things first, how do we reboot Z? Is it like a finger up the nose and tweak his left ear, or
He'll be fine. He just needs a minute.
Q will just gently guide Z's hand and so that his finger's stuck up his nose? Just for the fun image of Z being stuck in a garden with a finger up his nose.
Now, what Z was trying to step around was that there is a team of rangers yet to be formed, though as they have already appeared, we know that they will be formed. A team of rangers to come from the future. Time travel is hazardous at best. confusing at worst, and interfering with it can have ramifications that we try not to consider. So passing on information about such events is hazardous. Hypothetically, as Z would say, if there was a ranger that was related to you, that was part of a team outside of their spacing time, we would have to do our best not to allow you to meet.
And what if there was a ranger who was related to me who wasn't out of their space and time?
Well, that's even more confusing. What do you know?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think I have a twin. And I think whilst I was on the moon, the rest of the team might have met him or possibly a version of him, potentially from another time. But if he was from ours, then I wondered if there was a way to track him down through what we know of the grid.
In theory, yes. The issue would be is if he's not in this point in time, getting there would involve equipment we do not have for a good reason.
Because it's not been invented yet, Kit will say with a smile.
Yes. It gets confusing.
And I guess there's time.
There is time, yes. No
Hold on.
DeLoreans.
I get that reference. If you knew of my brother being called by the grid, you would tell me, wouldn't you?
I had wardenship over several relics of the grid to form a team. I didn't have wardenship over all of them.
That's not what I asked you.
I wouldn't necessarily know that he was.
Inside check.
Go for
And
it.
not in the channel.
There's a Z on the stream.
I broke Z and crashed the channel. What am I rolling to insight check?
Alertness insight.
Oh,
And
excellent.
no, Pete cannot play silly games with a DeLorean. Do we really
You
trust
must have
Pete with a
hangover.
DeLorean?
But is this inside check martial arts or dance related?
That's what I thought you were going to say. And no, is it martial arts or dance related?
No.
What if you
Oh,
dance
is it a
while
social
inciting?
skill? Damn, it's not. It's smarts. Bugger.
This is me dancing.
Right. D6. That is a. Oh no! Don't I have a thing now that lets me Oh no, is that only with the power weapon? I bet I didn't write it on this bloody sheet, did I? Well, they chuffed it, I'll write down what I'd leveled up with.
Bear with me 1 second.
I can re-roll ones, but it might only be with
It's specific skills, so it would
power
depend on which
weapons.
skill you picked.
Did you take the Blue Ranger thing?
Uh, bear with, because I'm fairly certain I wrote it on my sheet.
You
Grid
took
tech.
weapon mastery, yeah.
Power
So
weapon,
it's
yeah.
so it's
Can I
on your
insight
weapon.
check him with my power weapon?
No, you cannot insight check Zordon with your
Instant check him
power.
upside the head.
Bonk. Just hit Zordon upside the head. No,
He knows what he did.
that's not an option. I mean, you can hit Zordon upside the head, but he may hit you back.
Yeah, 16.
Very strong.
16. He appears to be telling you the truth from everything you can tell. He's built up a semblance of trust with you all, and you do believe that he is trustworthy enough that when he says he wouldn't necessarily have any insight as to whether or not he was called up, he's telling the truth.
Okay. Well, if you find another me roaming around the galaxy, beat me.
Unless it's another clone, in which case I will
Still
beat
beat
you.
me. Yeah.
I've been wondering
Sorry.
whether or not we should train at some point soon.
We can certainly try.
Goldie to Goldie.
I have some fighting styles from Eltar that, whilst they are not similar to those of Earth, I believe may be useful to you.
That was Jason's head. You've
It's
had any complaints? Sorry.
it's better than it was. The ringing stopped. But I do believe he wished to speak to you about a letter he was trying to write to see if you had any insight as to where it could be delivered. He has penned several. He said that he has sent care of the North Pole.
No, it's okay. I know the ambassador.
Okay.
Is Billy currently lurking in his lab?
Of course. Sometimes I feel he may need to be dragged out to see some sunshine.
Cool. Well, I need to go and chat to him, but sorry about Z, and I'll catch you later.
Within seconds of you leaving, Z pulls his finger out of where his nose would be, turns to Zordon and sort of looks at him, watches you go, and you don't hear, but they begin a conversation. And you are unfortunate enough to miss Z just. He is perhaps a little bit too insightful for his own good. His brother should not have made them aware of his identity. Time travel is very problematic for this reason. And we're going to see what Sarah is up to on Safehaven before we go and see Billy.
Wanted to track down Kevor.
Kevor is easy to find. you can hear him yelling somewhere on the sort of grounds of the Omega Temple, we're going to call it, because it is part temple, part domicile, part prison, part everything. And go ahead and make me an alertness or survival check.
Yeah. Alertness. I assume it's not insight.
Nope, it is hearing based though, if you've got anything
Right.
for that.
Nope. I do not. Well, don't forget. Uh, let's just see. Let's just see. Critical 28.
You are easily able to follow the sounds that Kavor is making. He's very loud, very energetic, and as you walk through parts of the outsides, you find what is essentially like a training ring that's been set up, and Kavor is out there, essentially just in almost like a martial arts G. He is running through weapons drills, currently being supervised by a owl-like creature that you have seen once or twice before, by the name of Archon, who appears to be not flustered, but perhaps a little bit frustrated by the overabundance of energy that Kavor is just
Youthful
swinging with.
enthusiasm.
Yeah, enthusiasm. That's the word I was looking for. It's there's no care, there's no technique. It's just like swing, 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 and hope for the best.
Swing.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a mess. To be kind of nice to him, it is just there's no technique. It's just a mess. It's only been a month, or just under a month. It's not like they've had lots of time to practice. It's not like they've had lots of time to drill techniques into him. But it's still a mess.
Gonna watch for a little while. Let them come to like a natural break.
You watch as where perhaps they would use like wooden mannequins or training posts or something similar on Earth. Z has set up like holographic projectors. So you see a variety of different enemy types being presented. You see like putties, you see Piranatrons, you see things that you don't even recognize. And Cavil just grabs up this big hammer, more maul-like than anything else. It's got like two really long half to it and fairly small head. It just grabs hold of it and just starts swinging. But he's so heavy in comparison and so big in comparison to him that every swing like unbalances him, and he has to just swing it again and just kind of ride out the momentum until he just kind of turns into a spinning top of just dizziness until after like the fifth or sixth blow he just falls onto his like backside. The hammer goes spinning out of his control. Archon just strides out there, snatches the hammer out of the air and slams it down onto the ground. Just enough, 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 enough. Enthusiasm is all well and good, but perhaps a little bit more control.
Mind if I cut in?
Please. He doesn't even look at you, suggesting that perhaps he did know you were there the whole time, but just kind of beckons you over.
Kev, how's it going? We'll help him up.
My training to be a ranger is it's a little rocky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This hammer's almost the size of me.
That might be the problem, or at least part of.
But it's really good.
Sure, yeah, but you got to learn control first, which means you might want a slightly smaller hammer in the beginning while you're training, at least. You got to build up to the super hammer, you know?
Did you build up? Did you just get a super hammer? You don't have a hammer. What do you have?
I don't. A high G.
I don't understand.
Your mum will tell you when you're older.
I scream.
Kavor looks over at one of the targets that's still standing and just brings his hands up into the air, throws them back behind him, and just screams as loud as he can. It
This
doesn't do
is,
anything,
I
as
don't,
could be
technically
imagined.
don't know that I can. Yeah, all right. No, it's more. I mean, if you're gonna yell, if you're gonna, you gotta pull from the diaphragm and force it out. And this is where we learn that I have civilian superpower because I've never actually used it. And yeah,
Do I have a diaphragm? What's a diaphragm?
Your mum will tell you when you're older.
Uh,
uh, whoa, hold on. I do it again, different target. I didn't know I could do that without the suit. That's fun.
Is this a human thing? Can all humans do this?
No, not even remotely. Anyway,
I don't think cartoonians can do it.
probably not.
Which is why I need the hammer.
Yes, but you have to learn how to move the hammer, not let the hammer move you.
But maybe if I close my eyes when I swing it, I will get some
Jay.
vision.
No, honey, no.
And he like snatches the hammer from Archon's hands and just starts swinging it again. But this time his eyes are closed, and he just like swing and swing and swing and swing.
Backflip away.
Do or do not.
There is no try.
Like,
Uh, that's disappointing. I got a 19 and a 4. I decided he had to roll with Snag, and
no.
he got a 19 and a 4. He spins some more, as would be expected, because again, the hammer is just too heavy for him. He pretty much overbalances straight away. The hammer goes
Mhm.
flying through the air and hits one of the trees nearby, which just drops some large green fruit. It hits the ground with a splat.
Oh boy.
Oh, Trini's going to be unhappy with me. She was trying to grow that.
Well, you didn't knock the tree down, so shouldn't be too bad. But you see what I mean? Ah, shit. Well, now you did it.
Oh no.
The
Unless it was
squirrel.
your singing that broke the tree.
I'm not taking the blame.
Archon? Archon's gone. He's left.
Of course he is.
Deuces.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
tight. Archon's left. He's gone.
Gotta own it, kid. But I think your the first thing we need to do is teach you how to move.
I did move. I moved in really good circles, didn't you see? They were really
No,
quick. Somebody tried to hit me with a
actually,
mist.
your body awareness is terrible. You don't know your arms from your legs from your left earlobe. Like there's no sense of balance.
I'm really good without the hammer.
Are
That's how
you?
I became such a good
I mean, you're good at like climbing and stuff, and
thief.
yeah, but that's a different kind of movement.
I'm
We're
listening.
gonna, yeah. So we're gonna try something, and I'm gonna teach you how to dance. Believe me, it has direct applications. I'm gonna pull out my phone and like scroll up and turn on hammer time. Watch what I do and try to copy
Out of curiosity, is it just the music or is it the lyrics too?
the whole song. Yeah.
As soon as it comes up like stop hammer time, he grabs the hammer again and he just like starts swinging it.
No, no, without the hammer, kid.
But
Without
the
the
song said hammer time
do what I do.
with the hammer.
Follow my lead. Not with the hammer. You have
But
to
it's
earn
hammer
the hammer.
time.
You have to earn the hammer.
I don't understand.
L- Copy my movements. You understand that?
Are you gonna have a hammer?
No.
No.
But then why is it hammer time?
You are the hammer in this instance. Your body is the hammer. Be the hammer.
Archon!
Feel the hammer within you.
Gotta live like a
You
hammer.
you have to harness the soul of the hammer before you can use that hammer.
I think I prefer Archon's training.
I mean, it's not working either. Give it a try.
Okay. And I'm gonna roll and see. I got a 2. He
he
tries to
just
copy you,
he
but
tries the knee
it's
thing and just falls down.
yeah, it's a really bad imitation. He just like he eats dirt pretty much straight away.
All right. Well, we're not ready for that level then. All right. And yeah, I'm just gonna take him through it piece by piece, step by step, like without the music initially. Like
Yeah, the
you
hammer
have
thing
to,
was definitely confusing him.
yeah. You've got to know where you're swinging any given part of your body at any moment before you can learn to know where that hammer is going or where it's going to be. You understand?
I think I did understand.
Yeah.
It's going to be hitting my enemy in the jaw.
Sure. But if you want to hit your enemy in the jaw, you have to know that your arm has to be here for the hammer to be there. You understand? You see?
Yeah.
All right. Good. Try it again.
I got an 8.
You're learning.
It's an improvement. He does a little bit better. This is more imitation. The footwork's a little bit better. It's not quite there. The balance isn't quite there, but there's an improvement.
You have to have superb balance and body control if you're going to wield something that weighs as much as you.
But don't you just get stronger by being a Power Ranger?
You still got to have the fundamentals.
Ugh. Next, they want me to go back to school.
Have they not yet?
They keep trying, but I'm really sneaky.
Sarah being a responsible adult mentor is horrifying. Get this out of here. I'm kidding. Keep going. I love it.
Sarah's like, you gotta go back to school. I don't want to go back to school
Why not?
because I want to learn how to fight.
You don't just fight with these or that. You need
Do you
this.
fight with the hammer?
Fight with your meat hunks.
You you need to go to school. You need to learn.
Archon can teach me. Archon's been everywhere. I think he's like 1,000 years old.
Sure. You also need to learn how to people. And going to school helps you socialize. You want to
No.
be part of a team? You need to learn to work with other people.
Yeah, on the team, but not with all the random people. So I need to learn how to work with like Trini and Zach and Jason.
What if they're not the team that you join?
Of course, I'm going to work with them.
What if Power Rangers change all the time? By the time you're ready, it may be a whole new team.
But
You
I'm
need to
ready
be able to
now.
work with. You're not. You need to be able to work with other people. You need to go to school.
I don't want to.
What is it about school that you don't like?
It's boring.
What's boring?
All of it. They make you go to places at certain times and you have to wait there for ages and you have to listen. It's so boring. You have to sit still.
They're like an alien version of ADHD.
Is it ADHD?
Oh my god! I think what you were saying.
Yes, it is. um,
Interesting. Okay. We need to get you checked out, I think. I think I might have an inkling as to something that could
and
help
then
you
I don't have to
focus.
go to school.
No, it'll make school easier.
Nothing will make school easier. It's boring.
Look, kid, you got to learn stuff.
I don't
You
want
want to
to
be a
learn
Power
stuff.
Ranger, you have to learn. You have to be able to understand your surroundings, and school will help you do that.
But they all left school early. They haven't finished.
Have you met Billy? He's
Uh,
probably got 8 degrees in the time we've been talking.
yeah, but Billy was just grown up, born.
He No. Billy
Uh-huh.
went to school a
Yeah,
lot.
but Jason left school. He didn't finish. And neither did Trini. And neither did Zach. They all left school and they came here and they helped us. And that's what I'm going to do.
They didn't have a choice.
Well, I don't have a choice either. School's boring,
You,
so I'm going to do the
you,
same.
you do. Until such time as you are, if you are called to the power,
I
you
can
need
hear it now. It's calling me.
it's saying go to school.
No, it's like cave off. Cave off.
I don't know what else to tell you. Like you need these things. If you want to, do you
Nobody
want to
makes
be
Yale go to school.
Yale? I'm pretty sure Yale's an adult. Pretty sure Yale has already graduated from Alien Cat School.
But you don't know.
I mean, That's the graduation ceremony, is learning to use a litter. I mean, it's fair, I suppose. We haven't asked Yale, I guess. But
So if Yale hasn't gone to school, then I don't have to go to school.
do you want to be the best ranger that you can be?
Duh.
Go to school.
Archon.
Archon will
Will
tell you the same thing, I
also make
guarantee
you
it.
go to school.
I
Yeah.
thought you was the cool ranger.
Oh, I am.
You're just some boring grown-up. And Cable just stomps off.
I'm
And
gonna
on
call
that note,
training.
let's go see what Cal is doing on Safehaven.
I'm going to find a motorcycle and then just ride out of city. I'm just going to explore the rest of the I'm just going to go. It's like
Okay.
they'll call me back. They'll call me back when if stuff goes down, and then I can teleport. Thanks, Peter. So I'm just going to go out and vibe. I'm going to explore nature.
Make me a alertness check, because this could be really funny.
Because this could be really funny.
This could be really funny.
Something I don't like to hear.
I'm going to try and describe this to the best of my ability and see whether or not this works.
11.
11. Okay, cool.
Because I absolutely beef it.
You find a black motocross bike. It is practically just completely black. The seat, the body, the wheels.
Now Panic knows
all
what's
of it.
about to happen.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna steal this bike.
You gonna steal this bike? Awesome.
For sure, I'm gonna do that. This
So
is
above
free.
the table, whose bike have you just stolen?
I think it's the Black Power Rangers.
Nope. There is a red symbol just like on the seat of the bike. It's fairly small, maybe kind of like 2 inches by 2 inches. Looks to be maybe some sort of Japanese writing, perhaps. Not something you recognize, especially not with your absolutely awful alertness perception check on that one. But who would have brought a motorbike onto the ship? Who knows? But you take it out of the ship, you ride it down onto the planet, and you start heading off. It's fantastic. The suspension's great. It's very quiet. It makes almost no noise, and you're fairly certain that it's using some sort of Michael's picked up on it. It's using some sort of like electric engine motor that's just providing enough propulsion to the wheels themselves. There's a very, very faint whine that the surrounding nature more than makes up for. And as you start heading out, you see the nature of the planet is kind of similar to Earth, other than the colours. Vivid blues and purples and reds, as opposed to the greens you're used to on Earth for trees and bushes, foliage. It's also a lot thicker, having not been kept back by the people that don't live on the planet or haven't lived on the planet for a long period of time.
I mean, yeah, I'm not like I didn't have any big things to do on this planet, so while everyone else is handling their business, I'm going on a road trip.
Okay. Make
And
me
I will
make me a
teleport
driving
back
check.
when I need to. All right. I can do that.
We're gonna have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Driving check?
Sir. Let me do math hella fast. 18.
18? Yeah. So even with the rocky undergrowth and the fact that this part of the planet hasn't been travelled or explored in a significant portion of time, the suspension on a bike is fantastic. You're able to quite easily travel across the ground. You're able to keep moving, and although the bike isn't that similar to Vibe Check, you're able to use what you know of Vibe Check and the way you're riding it to kind of lean into the turns, and you start putting your foot down as you're hitting those sharp turns, throwing yourself through the undergrowth quite hard. It's surprisingly enjoyable. There's something exhilarating about it. You're not going as fast as you've been in your Zord, but because of everything whipping past you, because of how close everything is, because there's no road, there's no clearings. You know that if you missed something, if you failed to hit a turn, or if you missed a rock underneath your foot, you'd be eating dirt big time.
Thank goodness I'm a Power Ranger.
Yeah, there's just something a bit more fun about it all. Make me another alertness check.
$19.
Off to your left, you see a brief flash of blue. This lightish tinge, almost aqua blue, up high in the trees. It seems to be maybe 60 foot ahead and to your left, maybe about 40 foot high. Disappears and then reappears almost exactly at the same sort of height and distance away from you, like it's keeping pace.
That's interesting. And I can't make out any more features of it, just that it's a blue. It's like
Just
light
the
aqua
blue, because of the distance, because of how it's blending into like the foliage and everything, and because of how far away it is, it's just a little bit too difficult to make out exactly what it is. If you want to get closer, we can make a driving check.
Yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot.
Go for it.
Nah, 12.
No, it's not bad. 12 does get you closer. It does bring you sort of closer towards it, but not closer like ahead of it. So it brings you sort of more in line with it. And as you get closer, you recognise the gait, the movements, and the jumping of Yale, the Blue Omega Ranger.
It's just in the trees.
Just in the trees. Seems to be kind of taking it as a game. Running what appears to be flat out as fast as he can. He's got a little bit of an advantage purely because of the fact that where he is, although the foliage is there, it's not quite as thick. He doesn't have to deal with the undergrowth that you're having to deal with, and he does seem to be kind of having some fun. You do notice that as he's moving, he seems to be trying to lead you towards something.
I'll follow. Why not? I got nothing better to do. Let's get it.
Okay. You follow him maybe the better part of about 40 minutes, and as you do, as you're slowly kind of rounding through the undergrowth, through the trees and everything else, you slowly come towards what you recognize as ruins. They very much look like the rest of the buildings that make up the base of the Omega Rangers. Something that looks like it quite possibly could have been attacked a long time ago and destroyed. You see there's no roof on one building. You see what could have been scorch marks on another. And as you come to a halt, there's like vines growing over everything. One building has a whole tree having grown through it. It's clearly like several hundred, if not thousands of years old. Forest has reclaimed most of it. But there was something here at some point, and Yale sort of leads you towards it.
Yeah, all right.
You have to get off the bike because it's so between the buildings and all the trees and everything else now, the bushes, the trees, the bits of buildings that have fallen over, the buildings that are still standing, it's really just too difficult. You're kind of having to climb up and over things.
I mean, look, I'm good at climbing. I have 6 arms.
And you can jump surprisingly high.
90 feet.
Exactly.
Vertical.
Yep.
It's such an insane... I can't even quantify what that would look like.
I know, it is insane. Like...
90 feet vertical leap. Absurd.
Yeah. I used to be able to slam dunk, and I thought that was impressive. And the idea of...
Look, that is, but just like 90... What is 90 feet tall? It's not a metric humans like thinking unless it's about building things.
Yale keeps pace with you.
Distance.
As you sort of turn this bike ride into an exploration. And you slowly begin to explore these buildings, these ruins. There doesn't seem to be anything that suggests anybody had died there. There's no bones, there's no remains or anything like that. You do disturb a few animals that go skittering about, a few birds that go flying away, a few lizards, oddly enough, that blend into the environment really well. And
I mean, it's nice to know the planet has fauna.
Yeah. Nothing that tries to attack you. One thing does get a bit close until Yale lets out a growl, and it turns and runs on like 10 legs. As you begin to really kind of delve into the buildings, you see a light up ahead. Something still has power. And
That's interesting. Let's go.
You're probably about 70 or 80 feet below the ground at this point. You've climbed up, you've climbed across and down into the depths of this building. And as you do, you find what looks to be a smaller version of the arches that you've travelled through in the past. But this one is only maybe like 3/4 of the way constructed. It's got cables drawing away from it. There's some sort of computer system perhaps hooked up to it. There's power still running through the whole thing because the computer system is lit up.
Now, I am going to text Pete about this, but he's not here right now, so I can't do anything about that. So it's still on. Can I check it for
Yeah.
It's weird. Is there like a user log or something? Like, I want to look at this. I want to see what this is. Because it's a mini arch.
Yep. So the arch itself is maybe like 10 foot high and maybe 8 foot wide. So it's still fairly big. You'd get, a vehicle through it. Just not as big as the ones you found previously that the Transformers were able to easily travel through, even the largest of them.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of start poking and prodding at the computer. Go ahead and make me. Go ahead and make me.
I know this!
I like that. It's a Unix system.
I know this! Technology, you said. Yikes. Yep. Here we go. 6.
You start tapping away at the computer on what appears to be the keyboard.
On the Unix system.
On the Unix system. There's a spark on the 7th key, stroke of the key. A spark kind of flashes off away from something.
Keyboard isn't plugged in.
Keyboard isn't plugged in. It's plugged into something, but maybe the wrong thing. And you see one of the power cables that's leading from the not quite constructed arch leads to what the keyboard's plugged into as well. And you're fairly certain maybe you just tried to power it up.
I'm gonna turn to Yale. I'm gonna be like, Yale, do you know what do you know what this is? Can you use it? What am I looking at here? I talked to the Catman, who may or may not
Yale's
speak
head
English.
is
I don't
kind
remember.
of like oval shaped, and it just kind of tilts it really precariously. So it's almost like American football shaped, and just kind of tilts it like 90 degrees. Looks at you, lifts its very feline paw, and just places it on top of the keyboard. And there is nothing about its paw that looks like it's adapted for using technology.
Mm-hmm. Does it work?
No.
Damn!
No, not at all.
Well, I literally have no points in technology, so this isn't my bag. But I'm gonna, like, you said stuff started, like, sparking and whatnot. Yeah. Can I just start following wires to see what's plugged in where?
Yeah. So there's like 5 or 6 different power cables plugged into, or 5 or 6 different, like, maybe 3 or 4 inch cables plugged into the archway. Sorry, I've just seen what Jay wrote. It's very feline behavior. Yeah, 5 or 6 different 4-inch thick cables plugged into what appears to be the computer terminal that then connects to the arch in different places. There's something that looks maybe like a generator that hums faintly that's plugged into both. One cable that goes into each of them. Itself, it's not plugged into anything other than those two. It just seems to be providing power for the arch and the computer system.
So the power system is only plugged into the arch and the computer system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I unplug the arch and then just try to use the computer?
You can.
I'm going to. I'll plug it back in later.
Make me either an acrobatics or a non-combat initiative check.
Yeah!
You've got edge on this one, I think, haven't you?
I have edge on a non-combat initiative check.
So I'll give you an upshift because you can actually unplug all 6 cables at the same time with your 6 arms.
Hell yeah. 20.
You pull all of the cables out at the same time. A spark jumps between them, but you're able to sort of like throw the cables away from you before anything happens. Thankfully, because you're fairly certain that would have been quite painful had it surged across your body.
Yep, would have lost my eyebrows. Good thing I'm not Pete. So now that only the computer is plugged in, I go back and I'm gonna try to use the computer to just figure out what, like, I'm looking for notes apps. I'm turning on someone's desktop computer and I'm trying to figure out whose this is.
The language doesn't translate.
Terrible start.
By your
Do we
systems
need it to?
automatically. So you're having a bit of difficulty, but you're trying to find something that looks similar enough in design to what you've already used on other computers. So something that looks like a notepad, something that looks like a blank page,
or like a folder, on the desktop that like might have information. Yeah. The File Explorer app, so I can see the name of the person who owns this system.
Exactly.
Literally anything to get identification.
And you, after
can I roll alertness detective? Alertness detective.
I'll give you alertness. Roll me alertness, but with snag because you can't understand the language.
That's fair. That makes sense. Son of a critical 8.
It takes a few goes, and what you don't know, being so far underground, is that so focused on what you're doing is that it's getting quite late outside. But after a little while, you're able to find a video file. It pops up.
Oh, thank God. I'm like in shambles. Like I'm just like one head on table as I like scroll through things like
God knows how long you've been scrolling. Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine what it would be like if I was suddenly given access to a computer that was exclusively in like Greek, and I'm like a nightmare,
Russian,
actual nightmare. Yeah, like any language that does not use the Latin characters, like Russian, Greek, Japanese I could actually do, but like Chinese, like can't like Korean, yeah, and it's only in that, and I cannot switch the language. I'm just, ugh.
This
terrible
video starts
time.
playing. You see a humanoid individual. Their skin is this ever so slightly bluish color, but you're fairly certain it's because of the
mercury poisoning.
It's because of the light reflecting off of the screen itself. That same light that's kind of really just driving you insane at this point, I think. And they start talking. But unfortunately for you, they're talking in that same language that you can't read. And it's not translating.
What? Can I like just record it with my helmet?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like that, record that I'm seeing it,
yep.
So I can like go to someone smarter than me later and be like, "Hey, why doesn't our universal translator translate this language that's happening in our universe?"
As you're working through it, however, you're like doing your bits and pieces and everything else. You go ahead and make me another alertness check. This one isn't at snag.
That's nice.
Hearing based if you...
I do not have that, but thank you for telling me. Critical 25.
Critical 25. You, buried in the recording, you can hear this beeping. At first it just seems to be music. It kind of gets lost in the words. But after a little while, you kind of tune out the words because the beeping is so incessant. It doesn't stop the entire way through the recording. And then you detect a pattern in it. And then in the pattern you detect something familiar.
I lean in. If you
fours.
like pina coladas.
It's always in groups of fours. And it's like, maybe there's a beat and then a pause and another pause and a beat, or they're always in groups of fours, and you can feel the beats because of how they're spaced out, but always in chunks of four. It takes a minute or two, but you've done some science, you've done some, you're not.
I have done science,
yeah,
not technology, but I have done science.
And
I have my spiritual lab
as,
coat.
You recognize it as a strange but audible version of binary.
Oh, God. Oh, no, hell no. The computer's talking in AdMech. We gotta get the hell out of here. But, okay, so I'm hearing binary then?
Yeah.
Can I run that through my universal translator?
You can indeed.
Let's get it.
There's, buried beneath the message, there's like an SOS. And it's talking about a computer virus. It's talking about a computer virus from the future being stuck.
Time travel. Alright, computer virus from the future being stuck in our current time? Or
quite possibly in the past, considering the fact that the building's in such ruins.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna contact the rest of the team. Like I already sent Pete a message being like, hey, it's like, hey, man-sized translation gate or whatever that, like whatever. Like what term? Like gate? Like what have we been using
Master
for these?
Arch.
Man-sized master arch found in ancient ruin, not clickbait. Now I'm gonna
Definitely
send.
clickbait.
Now I'm gonna send a message to the rest of the team and just be like, guys, I found some time travel bullshit.
The one
Please
word,
advise.
like the one other word that I will say you do get from the binary is just a name. You're fairly certain it's a name, and it's Venjix. Venjix.
Now that's fucking familiar. Okay. It's like I found some time travel BS in relation to General Venjix on Safehaven. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna save that recording so it can be analyzed by some egghead later. Probably Billy. It's probably gonna be Billy.
Billy or Peter. We'll just find the eggheads.
I'll go find some egghead to do this. But now do I plug it back in? I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna shut down the computer and then unplug it too.
Okay. To answer the question, and just so that it's on the recording, like on our recording here, it doesn't say general. It just says Venjix.
Then the Venjix clan, probably the guy who later became general. If it's not him, then it's whack. It's weird that there's another guy named Venjix.
So above the table,
Grandma
I think
Venjix.
Michael got this one possibly. Here's a fun fact for you: there are actually 2 Venjix in Power Rangers. There's
That's
General
dumb.
Venjix, and there's the Venjix virus.
Whoever is responsible. Whoever is responsible for writing that should feel bad.
Completely unrelated.
Just in terms of literature, like, you don't have 2 things named the same thing that aren't related. Don't do that. It's bad. It's bad for the story.
Completely unrelated. But who knows what they're going to be in this? Who knows? I know, but who else knows?
But naturally, being a normal person, Cal's like, there's only one Venjix.
Yeah.
It's the guy we killed.
Did we kill him? Is he dead? Is he in the internet?
We did something to someone. I think that was Venjix, right? The guy who got Frieza death beamed out of existence.
Yep.
Ah!
Giant robot. Yep.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to pop over to Q and Billy, and it's going to be earlier in the day because this is quite late in the afternoon.
Yeah, I spent so long trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
But he succeeded, but he succeeded badly.
I succeeded forever. Like, it took so. I'm tired, dude. Like,
yeah.
He's like, right, this
forgot to pack a sandwich.
This key and that key. This key, that key, and that key. This key, that key, that key, and that key. This key, that key, that key, that key, and that key.
At any point, did Yale leave me?
Like, no, Yale stuck with you, but he did curl up on the floor a few times. But in
he's asleep.
In that way that I don't know if cats do it so much as dogs do, but where they turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn, and then collapse.
In disgust. Then Daddy will get halfway through a circuit and look at you as if he's weighing up, do I want to sit here or do I want to cross the room and sit on the human? No, I'll see it.
But yeah, he stayed with you the entire time.
No, that's comforting. Thanks, guy.
He's glad that somebody followed him to the ancient ruins that everybody was too busy to explore.
Yeah, what he truly needed was a Power Ranger who had an abundance of free time.
Exactly.
And if that isn't Cal, then who is he?
You just need to start checking in with Yale every time you come to Safehaven, just in case.
He'll lead me somewhere or something.
Yeah. So, Q, you find Billy down in his laboratory, just exactly where you would expect to find him. I like saying laboratory as opposed to work.
The secret lab!
Yes. It sounds evil and...
Laboratory is also better than laboratory.
Yes.
Because laboratory sounds like lavatory.
Yeah.
And lavatory is one of
the
worst ways to
on your
refer to a
toilet?
bathroom.
There's maybe like a dozen different experiments going on at one point. You see schematics for different things that he's working on. You see a projection of something that he's working on. It's just chaos, but chaos that he understands, apparently, because he's kind of moving from project to project, muttering about things taking too long. He doesn't seem to notice you as you enter.
Q waits for a second or two. His helmet is dropped, but he's still kind of golded up. And just launches in with, "Where the fuck do you get off?"
Strong opener.
I don't understand.
The way you have been treating Pete has been hugely unacceptable. Who the fuck do you think you are? Who made you the Grand High Inquisitor of scientific morality?
Talk to him.
I'm sorry, is there anything constructive
No,
you wish
that's
to
a
add to this
rhetorical
conversation?
question. School's in session, Billy. Shut up and listen. I get that you've been at this for a long time, but we haven't. Pete, like you were once upon a time, is doing what he can with what he has and what he knows. Were you even half as much of a bitch to Tommy whenever he went off and got captured after running face first into an obvious trap? Or when Jason thought he could handle every threat that you all faced by himself? Or whenever you got your ass handed to you by a single putty? Or how about the time when your entire team lost their memories and their powers and had to be saved by civilian Bolt and Skull? Or were the rules different for you because you never made a single bad call? When did you become the bully who humiliates those who are trying their best in a bad situation? Pete made a call. He's living with that and he's trying to learn from it. And you, however, are just being the dick of dicks to him over and over again and seem either unwilling or incapable of seeing just how much damage you're causing. Peter has idolized you and placed himself in your shadow for such a long time. But he deserves better than you. Yeah, you're a great scientist and you're an amazing technologist. But newsflash, so is Peter. But whereas you're a world-class asshole, he has a heart of gold. The next time you contact my team or Peter directly, the first thing out of your mouth had better be an apology, or I swear to you, I will jete across the stars to wherever you are and kick your ass so hard. The first thing you're going to have to do whilst you're in recovery is invent the machine to physically extract your head from your arse. Got that?
I heard what you said.
Good. And Q turns and walks away.
Yeah!
Damn.
It's about damn time! Let's fucking go!
And Billy's got some thinking to do.
Mm-hmm. Some serious reflection, at the very least, should be brought on from that. Hell yeah!
I like that Michael was here to watch it, if not at least Peter was here to hear it.
Yeah, it's dude, I'm so happy Michael was watching that. Yeah!
Got him.
Q definitely got his back.
Talk to him! Ooh. Incredible.
100%. Billy looks absolutely stone-faced as you leave. There's no indication that he has any sort of emotional response to it, but whether or not that's because he doesn't or because he's just good at hiding his emotional responses is anybody's guess at this point in time. He does go back to what he's doing, but if you were to have hung around long enough to watch, you'd notice that he is spending more time at each station, as if he's having to spend more time thinking about what it is that he's doing, as if he's
They broke
like his
Billy.
brain, yeah, as if his brain's just not quite focused on the task at hand. Perhaps a little bit elsewhere, thinking about his actions.
And then you get a message about some bullshit about time travel.
Yeah.
I'll say as like the evening, as the afternoon sort of fades into the evening, you know, you've had a chance to eat and grab some drinks and stuff like that, just refreshment around, and have a walk around Safehaven and explore it a little bit more.
Have I caught up with Jason with his letter writing?
Yep. Catch up with Jason with his letter writing. He does give you 2 copies of the letter. One for Sarah, just in case you can get it to Santa in her official position as ambassador to the North Pole, and one for you, just in case you do see the man again.
My advice to him is to leave it by his chimney or fireplace.
He looks around as if to say, like, do you see a
It's
chimney or
symbolic.
fireplace?
Just, whatever the closest thing to a fireplace would be. Even if you draw one and, or have a hologram, and, a little glass of something alcoholic, a carrot and a mince pie, lure him in. Or, just leave the letter there and see if it goes by morning.
I can imagine, like, he leaves it overnight and Trini just kind of takes it and
Gives
takes a
it to
bite out of the
Zordon
carrot. Yeah.
or to Z. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sort of like as the sun is going down that you get the message from Cal.
Found some time travel bullshit related to Venjix. That guy, I guess. I didn't know this was here, but I did find it, and then it's just like a bunch of the files of the language that I can't speak or translate,
In
the binary.
You do hear Yale just like,
Like Thor.
Oh yeah,
just
Yale's here too. He actually showed me this. So it wasn't just I didn't just find some stuff. Yale led me here. This was premeditated.
Yeah, Yale kind of just like buries his head back again and goes back to sleep as if to say, yeah, you're welcome.
Was there any message in anything in the message about it being a virus at all, or it mentioning a virus at all?
Yeah, so the message was that there's a virus from the future. It includes the name Venjix, but whether or not it doesn't say when the machinery was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't know how long the machinery is being created, whether or not the person who created the computer and everything is still around, or if they're long gone, when they were transported back in time too.
Q is very concerned that transmitting any part of any of this is possibly a bad idea. And we'll probably dash to find either Z or Zordon as quick as he can.
You find Z. Zordon is nowhere to be found, but you find Z. He's We'll go with spring cleaning, but he seems to be moving these rather large, what look to be vases, almost, or urns.
Hmm.
He stops when he sees you and is just, Mercutio, did you have any further questions?
Yeah, but semi-adjacent new subject. Um, Cal was led to some ruins by Yale,
Yale does
and
like enjoying the planet.
hmm, apparently he's found some message that our translator couldn't translate, but he is determined is a warning or a message about a computer virus from the future in a ruin from the past.
That doesn't make any
Oh yeah,
sense.
I also would have told you about the like human-sized Master Arch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I relay the message without
Yeah.
any of the electronic data,
hmm
whilst airing my concern that if
I just killed myself.
that our ranger tech may now be compromised with some kind of virus,
future
Venjix virus from the future.
future virus from the past.
Yes.
Nobody is able to morph from now onwards. This game just got a lot more difficult.
Matt's been talking about how like there's no benefit to not being morphed for like months, and this is why it was all for this.
No, I'm joking.
Dun, dun,
Um,
dun.
yeah, Z just kind of stares at you for several moments before.
Oh, I crashed him again.
I'm aware of ruins throughout the city. The planet was settled several times in the thousands of years between Omega Ranger cycles. I myself was located here in Safehaven for many years between Omega Ranger teams and witnessed the arrival and eventual leaving of many types of residents, but I'm not aware of any computer virus. I've been custodian of this planet for many years.
So, would it be prudent that we treat this as potentially a threat that we should try and contain until we know more about it?
Most certainly. It's possible that the technology that Cal has found has only recently arrived upon the planet.
Or it recently arrived many centuries ago.
Yes, that is the issue with time travel.
I mean, haven't you watched any Star Trek? Quantum dynamics is actually quite straightforward.
I don't watch any films. I have quite a
Sure. Well,
busy life.
yeah, well, don't watch anything between like the second one and the fifth one.
In which one do they rescue the whales?
You see, there we go. You have clearly seen or at least know enough
No, I
about
have
them.
heard of them.
We're getting off track. What is Safehaven's protocol? Should it come under assault from a computer born assault threat thing?
He sort of
Words.
looks around at everything around him, which is incredibly rudimentary. Like the furniture, other than Z is probably the most advanced form of technology on the planet. We smash anything that we don't need, I imagine.
Most advanced life form on the planet. Okay.
We don't have many computers. We don't have the ships in orbit we use to send messages, but we do that from orbit. We don't send messages in and out. The Ranger technology itself is generally impervious to any sort of attack.
Assume that it is not. See, for the time being, for your safety, don't connect to any technological networks until we know what we're dealing with. Go and apprise Billy of the situation. I would suggest sending an envoy to each of the ships to tell them how many ships are there before I suggest this is an idea.
In orbit, you probably would have seen about somewhere in the region of about 50 or so ships.
Okay. Yeah. Send physical messages or messengers to the ships to let them know, to ensure that their virus cards are up to date. Basically minimize any connectivity until we know what we're dealing with. I'll contact Cal and we'll try and make sure we contain what we've already sent so far.
I will endeavour to take all safe measures. But do not forget you do already have your own assignments. Billy and the rest of the team can step in here.
Yeah. Just move now.
I was like, Stinny is like, man, this is a real conundrum. Because I want to ask if I should just unplug the computer, but if I ask, that's more transmission, so I just have to wait.
Yeah.
So I can ask in person. But by the time they're here, one of them could unplug the computer. I look at the cat. The cat. It's like, I think you've gotten me in trouble.
Yale just kind of like rolls over.
Cat's gonna cat.
And then Carrie like continues over to the other position and just like stretches and then just goes back to sleep.
Oh, can I ask my brain mate if she senses anything like off about my energy? If she like feels any intrusions or something like that? She's at the very least adept at reading the flow of natural energy, considering she is like an aspect of nature.
It's been some time since you've inquired anything from me. I believed you had forgotten about me, in fact.
I literally can't. You're always there.
You are always on my mind.
Literally.
Well, as far as I can tell, any virus there may be does not belong on this computer system. As you can see, it was connected to only two things: the power system itself and whatever gateway that this was being created.
I look at the power system with like a feeling of foreboding.
I believe it was perhaps some sort of closed network.
Here's willing I didn't just outpatient it.
I would go so far as to say perhaps that the computer system itself wasn't infected, but was being used to warn anybody who came upon it of a computer virus that had already made it here.
Well, that's even more concerning for a different reason. And then I guess we're just gonna like wait for the rest of the cavalry to show up if we are investigating this.
I think on that note, with this foreboding thing ahead of us, that is where we're going to end the episode.
Man, I'm excited for this next arc because it means that Matt has to write in a field he hates with all his heart.
Oh. Here you think you're going to be investigating the time travel? You guys have got to head back to Earth.
We do have to head back to Earth.
In the 1980s.
In the 1980s. Just I love living with the knowledge that Matt now has to write some time travel bullshit when he hates time travel bullshit.
I'm saying nothing. But yes, as we always would say, before I ask the rest of you, because he felt it necessary to include his own favourite moment of the episodes, even though he's not included in the episodes. Michael, who plays Peter, his favourite moment of the episode apparently is Cal trying to tech and Q giving Billy the what for. Now, on that note, Jay, who plays Q, what is your favourite moment of the episode for yourself and for another player?
For me, it was two bits. Starting to dig a bit more into what's going on with his brother, but being able to read Billy the Riot Act for being the dick of dicks to my buddy.
About damn time.
For someone else, it was the questioning of Sarah being the cool one.
Yeah, I like that personally. Cable was just like, I thought you was the cool ranger, and then stomps off.
I'm leaving in a her.
Michael, who played Sarah, or plays Sarah, your favourite moment for the episode for both yourself and another player, please.
I mean, it's definitely reading Billy the Riot Act. Like, damn. And I mean, for myself, yeah, just the whole. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I did, the Kevlar thing. Yeah, I need to have lunch with Trini next time. I had to
Yes.
talk to that girl about this kid.
About this problem.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Panic, who plays Cal.
My favorite moment for Cal is stealing a motorcycle that belonged to someone I still don't know.
You still have it?
Okay, so we're
I'm
gonna
not a
ask
Power
Michael
Ranger
very
guy.
quickly.
I mean, I am, but
Michael,
I'm not.
who do you think the motorbike belongs to?
That guys.
Snake Eyes. 100% Snake Eyes' motorbike.
I'm confused as to why you
Hilarious.
didn't take your Senship motorcycle.
He's
But
not here. He's ruling Velocitron.
I thought he came with us.
No, at least
He's
not
on
to my
Velocitron.
memory. Yeah,
No.
no,
He's on
Vibe check.
Velocitron.
Vibe,
Until he gets bored and
I thought he
disappears, so
just
he may
wanted
be
to
on another
win,
planet by now.
and then yeah.
yeah, no, me and Vibe check had a tear-felt farewell after I gained the purple spectrum.
Oh shit! It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
He may not
I've been
still
purple
be
for
on
a minute.
Velocitron. He may have gotten bored again and
Yeah.
buggered off somewhere else. But
It's true, but he is not with us.
yeah,
Stole Snake Eyes' motorcycle. Well, at the very least, he won't be mad about it.
Well, what you don't realize is that he was actually invisible on it when you stole it.
He's helping. He's helping me. He's the one. He sat there in silence for 8 hours as I struggled to read a language I didn't understand.
That they're stroking you.
Yep.
Yep.
And my favorite moment for someone else in a 4 for 4, Billy finally getting to talk to him.
Let's just go 5 for 5 because that was cool.
Yeah.
F you, Billy.
Yep.
Matt
You
didn't know it was
fucking
coming.
dick. I mean, look, he's earned it. I don't
Yep.
like Billy. Billy this whole time has been giving the vibe of like Q's replacement. Like when Q showed up and he was like meaner and more of a dick. It's like this.
Yeah.
Like my own personal recollection of Billy to Billy is like Billy was like he was a smart guy, but like he was still a nice smart guy because he was written in a time where the idea was like the nerd was also kind-hearted.
Not
This was
anymore,
before. This was before Hot Tub Time Machine. And that other movie that's about nerds being the worst, Revenge of the Nerds, nerds being the worst people on the planet. So it's just like Billy being such an asshole. He had this coming.
He did.
I was literally in my chair like, yeah, fuck him up, get his ass.
And I'd had Peter working on the Uno Reverso button for the teleporter. Because part of me wanted Billy to try and use it and then Una reverse teleporting him into the lake, so that when he came back into the room dripping wet, I'd go, you should be really careful about what you invent, because somebody might outsmart you and use it against you. Wouldn't that suck?
Love it.
Would have been it. I'm sorry I rolled a 13.
Your fault.
In my defense, no one stopped me.
I was left unattended.
It does sound like the moral of the story here, really, isn't it? I was left
Dude,
unattended.
the moral of the story is do not let me roll for other people. My rolls are only like good when they're for me, and even then sometimes that's not true.
I
Like
have one job.
don't let me roll for the table. I will roll badly and we will all pay for it.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for playing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will be back next week. We just need to work out the time because
It is a weird.
Should just be an hour earlier for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Hour early is, I think, easy. It's easy for me. I think I'm going to have to check in with everybody else, but
Yeah.
I thought it was.
for me.
I thought it was going to be the other way around. I was like, wouldn't
See,
it be?
look, we're already confused.
Yeah, because we're
saving time's happening in part of the world, but not my part of the world.
Because in your part of the world, because in your part of the world, time wouldn't change. For us, we're an hour back in time. So if for Americans, it's an hour earlier.
We're jumping forward. We're losing.
We're jumping forward. Okay, so for us, it's an hour later then.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
it
right
just gets
now,
confusing.
tomorrow will be 2:30,
Mm-hmm.
which would mean
This is the worst kind of
Anyway.
time travel, people.
yeah.
We'll see you all next week.
The time
at some point.
the time we invented for literally no reason.
We'll
Yeah.
see you next week at some point. An announcement will go out. There will be a thing.
Probably an hour later.
Yeah, and we'll see you.
May the friendship protect you.
And it'll literally be either an hour later or the exact same time.
But yeah, may the friendship protect you. And if you've got a Billy in your life, find a Q.
Mm-hmm.
Bye all.
Never meet your heroes. They will
If you've got
always
a
be
ability in
assholes
your
for
life,
some reason.
cut them out.